Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video. Uh, Mostly gonna talk about movies. Again, it was a really awesome week for movie pickups. But I also was able to pick up some video games. So, like always, I just wanted to share those with you guys. So, let's get started. First off, I found a Dreamcast game. This is Qbert on the Dreamcast. For those of you that don't recognize Qbert, it's about this little character that has to go around these pyramids, and he has to jump like in every square to make them a certain color. And so when you make everything the same color, you clear the level and you go on. It's obviously an updated version of Qbert. The graphics are better and it has different options and everything. So it's a fun puzzle game. Well, I consider it a puzzle game, and it's for the Dreamcast. And for me, finding Dreamcast games is really hard. My Dreamcast collection is probably like it's only like 20 games big, but still always awesome to find a Dreamcast game. For the Super Nintendo, I was able to find a Capcom game. As I might have mentioned before, I'm trying to find as many Capcom and Konami games as I can get. Both for the NES and the Super. And this one is Super Buster Brothers. This is a puzzle game. Reminded me a lot of Bubble Bobble. But it's still fun. The graphics are okay, but at least it's fun, and that's the important thing. And again, it's Capcom. So, had to get it. And for the N64, I was able to find a boxed copy of Ridge Racer 64. It actually does also come with the manual and the game. The box is kind of beat up, but it's still a boxed 64 game at a really good price. My favorite version of Ridge Racer would actually be the one that came out on the PSP. Because it just had a whole bunch of different options and the graphics were really, really awesome. But on the 64, as far as racing games go, this is still pretty cool. You do get that sense of speed as far as, at least as best as the 64 can produce. So as far as racing games, this is actually pretty awesome. And like I said, it's complete. So, Ridge Racer! Really cool. Like I said, not a lot of video game pickups. Mostly gonna talk about, the movies that I picked up. A lot of deals at Blockbuster Mexico and a whole bunch of stuff picked up at swap meets. But let's get started. First off with Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Steven Spielberg in the 80s was awesome. He did a whole bunch of really cool movies. He did horror, he did some comedies, he did a suspense, just a bunch of really cool movies. And this one is about aliens. It handles the topic of, alien abduction. And it's funny because if you watch E.T., that was his, family-friendly one. And this one's actually kind of suspenseful. But it's still really, really cool. The only thing is that it says the collector's edition, but it doesn't have any features. I mean, it has no featurettes, no making of, no commentary, nothing. The only thing it is, it's remastered in high definition, and it has a few more minutes of footage, film in it. But all in all, still really cool movie. Definitely would recommend Close Encounters if you like, alien movies and stuff like that. Really cool. Picked up the Criterion edition of The Royal Tenenbaums. This is a comedy, but it stars a whole bunch of really, really funny people. It stars Gene Hackman, who's awesome in this movie. It stars Angelica Houston, Ben Stiller, Gwyneth Paltrow, Luke and Owen Wilson. But my favorite one is Bill Murray. Bill Murray's, awesome in pretty much anything he does. So, yeah, had to pick it up. And it's a 2-disc special edition. Picked up. I'm actually trying to get. I actually was trying to complete my Hannibal Lecter series. I have Silence of the Lambs and I have Hannibal Rising. So I needed 2, which I was able to actually get. The first one is I got this at a Blockbuster because they had this buy 2 get 1 free deal going on. So in my first visit there, I picked up Hannibal. Not the best Hannibal movie of the series. It's actually pretty laughable. The only interesting scene is with that guy with the wheelchair and the pigs. But they changed the actors that played Clarice, and that wasn't really cool. And Anthony Hopkins doesn't give his best performance, so you know, I needed it, but it's not that cool. For my girlfriend, I picked up Legally Blonde. This is like one of her favorite movies, and it is a funny movie. I actually do like it, but in my opinion, I actually prefer Clueless. Still, Reese Witherspoon is really cool, and it's a funny movie. So yeah, the last of the movies I picked up on that first trip was Bad Boys 2, starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Love the first Bad Boys, think it's freaking awesome, and the second one is also pretty cool. You know, they're really funny as actors and as comedians, so just a really, really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend seeing the first one, because that one's actually a little better in my opinion, and then this one, but both of them are still pretty awesome. Picked up on Blu-ray, because it was on sale, The Poltergeist, another Steven Spielberg film, uh, doing a little bit of horror. It's about this family that lives in this house, and strange things start happening. And the little girl is talking to the television because it seems like she's hearing voices and everything. And then all hell breaks loose. The little girl gets sucked into this like vortex, and things like go from interesting to like insane. The special effects are still pretty awesome, and there's this legend that this movie is, well, the production cast was cursed because they used live corpses in a scene. So, you know, a lot of the people involved died, you know, from natural causes and everything. I do remember this movie being a lot scarier when I was a kid, but it's still pretty freakish. Good movie. Picked up the last of the Hannibal Lecter movies I needed, and that's Red Dragon. By far superior than Hannibal. I actually would list Silence of the Lambs, then Red Dragon as the two better ones. Didn't much care for Hannibal or Hannibal Rising, but it stars Anthony Hopkins again, giving a good performance again as Hannibal Lecter. Stars Edward Norton, and it stars I think he's called Ralph Fiennes. He's the guy that played Voldemort in the Harry Potter series. So just really really cool suspenseful movie, way better than Hannibal. So I completed my Hannibal Lecter collection. I bought that in the second trip to Blockbuster because they still had that sale going on. So I was also able to pick up Halloween 2, one of the most faithful sequels in my opinion ever made, because the sequel happens on the same day, well actually the same night, the same Halloween night as the first one. The first one ended with Dr. Loomis shooting Michael Myers, and he falls off the balcony and then he disappears. So this movie follows exactly following that, and he's still trying to track down Michael Myers, and Carrie Strode is actually taken to a hospital, and Michael Myers goes after her. Really good movie, and it does lose a little bit of the suspense of the first one, but it's still an awesome sequel. At least way better than some of the other sequels that have been made, so yeah. And the surprise, I actually regret not seeing this in the theater in 3D, but the last movie I picked up, just because they didn't have anything better, is Piranha. And I actually watched this with my brother, and like, my two brothers and my dad, and we were just laughing at how ridiculous this movie was. But it's not a bad ridiculous, it's just like so over the top that it's funny. It has nothing to do with horror. There's not a single horrific scene there. Everything's like over the top, but it's really really funny. I just really wish I would have seen this in 3D, because the parts that look like they were in 3D look awesome. They really look awesome. So if the sequel ever comes out in 3D here in Mexico, I'm gonna go watch it. At least hoping that it's as good as this one, because this movie really did surprise me. Finally was able to add one of the classic horror movies to my collection, and that's The Exorcist. I picked up the version you've never seen, because it has like extra minutes added into it, or deleted scenes put back into the film. Considered by many the scariest movie of all time. It's actually one of the movies I've classic movies I've never seen. You know, the topic is about this little girl that's possessed by the devil, and um, that's kind of like something that, you know, as a kid they never let me watch this movie. So now as an adult I'm gonna watch it and hope I'm not too freaked out by it, because everyone that's seen it says like it's so freaking creepy and horrible and everything. But I'll let you know how that goes. The last pickups were actually from a swap meet. All of these movies were 10 pesos. But I was able to pick up Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. I'm a sucker for what if stories. And this one is that, you know, after Cinderella gets married, the stepmother finds the magic wand and she ruins the timeline, basically. She makes it so that Cinderella's glass slipper is never put on, so she's never revealed to be the girl that danced with the prince. So, you know, this is one of those direct to DVD sequels that Disney was making, and some of them were pretty bad, but at least by the concept alone, because like I said, I'm a sucker for what if stories. This one was actually pretty cool. Picked up 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure. Not so cool. It's funny that I own the second one, but not the original, because Disney movies are really hard to find for some reason. Mostly because they go out of print, and you know the Disney Vault doesn't release them that often. But the animation's okay, I guess, but it's not as cool as the original. Picked up Happy Feet. This actually came out the same year as March of the Penguin, so that year was like Penguin year. It has a lot of really cool actors doing the voices, like Elijah Wood, who was Frodo, Robin Williams, Brittany Murphy, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine doing a penguin, imagine that, and Nicole Kidman. So the computer animation is pretty cool. The dance scenes are also pretty epic. So all in all, it's a good movie. I like it. Picked up Stargate. To my knowledge, this is the first film from Ronald Emmerich, who did Independence Day and did Day After Tomorrow. um, I was actually wanting. I actually saw it once, and I thought it was okay, but I've been meaning to add it to the collection because you know, I do watch Stargate SG-1, so that's entirely based on this. And like I said, the movie is cool. Picked up Eagle Eye, starring Shia LaBeouf. I thought this was entertaining. It's about this guy that, you know, everyday Joe gets drafted by someone. Actually, he's framed as a terrorist, and then he's told through the cell phone to do all these different things, along with this other girl. And I kind of saw what was going on, like, halfway through the movie, who the big bad guy was, but I liked it. I thought it was entertaining, so yeah. Picked up for my mom's stepmom, because this is actually one of her favorite movies. And the last movie I picked up is Pineapple Express, starring Seth Rogen and James Franco. Think Seth Rogen is freaking awesome. James Franco also is a good performer, and Danny McBride also funny. So sorry about that. So really funny movie. It's I don't know if it's directed or produced by Judd Apatow, who did 40-Year-Old Virgin. But you know, awesome movie. Can't say anything more about that. So yeah, that was the pickup video. Like always, you know, I like to recommend the standout gem of the haul. So I'm gonna go with Piranha, just because I was really surprised at how ridiculously awesome this movie is. Just really, really liked it. And I'm gonna go with Poltergeist. Really, really scary movie. If you have a chance to watch it, watch it. Like I said, it's not as scary as I remember it being, but still, really awesome. So yeah, like always, guys, thanks so much for watching. And until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, signing off.